statements as well as a video to be played. In addition to that, we've sent you a number of community impact statements over the last few days. At this time, I think it would make sense to start with the impact statements, if that's okay with the court.
You may go ahead.
You want me to stand? Stay.
Sir, you may stand or sit, whatever you wish.
Sounds good. Thank you for taking the time to listen to what I have to say regarding this tragic case involving Lily. My name is Jonathan D. House, and I am a police officer with West Hennepin Public Safety. I have served with West Hennepin Public Safety for over 21 years, and just during my career, I've been a patrol officer, a detective, undercover narcotics agent, and currently serve as sergeant and second in command. I've received 5 letters of commendation, an award of excellence, and a medal of valor, and I've dedicated my life to public service. On February 26th, 2025, will remain an unforgettable, tragic day for me the rest of my life. Throughout my 21 years of service, I've responded to numerous tragic incidents, but none like what I experienced that day. The scene felt surreal, felt like something out of a movie. I'd never witnessed such chaos and such sheer fear in people. I could still hear Lily's father, Eric, yelling at me to help his daughter the second I got out of my car. I was obviously the first one to arrive at the scene. It was immediately clear that this was a high-speed collision. And it's a common road that is normally used for people to go to school. So it was later learned that they were all going to school as a whole family. 4-year-old child Merrick was later found to have a skull fracture, and every family member sustained significant injuries. Emmy, Eric, Dominic, Jackson, Merrick, and Lily were all hurt. They were staggering through a debris field that I haven't not seen before. Parts everywhere. Everyone was staggering around except for Lily. For the first time in my 21-year career, everything seemed to slow down, almost as if it were a dream. I went directly to the vehicle and I found Lily unresponsive. I picked her up. She was limp. I checked for a pulse. I could not find one. I spoke with her, received no response. I carried her out of the SUV in my arms. Immediately began CPR. When additional emergency responders arrived, I then began the crash investigation. We're a small police department, so it's your baby, you know. Unknowingly, I had Lily's blood on my arm throughout the investigation until an officer from Orono Police Department pointed it out and offered to help me clean it off. But I had no idea it was there. When I was talking to the family and doing everything, it was just horrible. During this time, the defendant, who I will not refer to by name, was disrespectful to the seriousness of the situation and to the crash scene. I had to instruct him multiple times to stop kicking debris from the roadway. He repeatedly asked how long this investigation was going to take. Based on my experience of narcotics investigations and as a detective, I knew taking a confrontational approach would not be effective. The chief who hired me back in the day had always told me you get more with honey than you do vinegar. So despite how difficult it was, I remained calm and professional. This incident has changed my life. At the time of the crash, my daughter was 11. Um, and I've been present at a lot of child death scenes throughout my career, but nothing has affected me more than this. After finishing my shift that day, I went home. I held my daughters and just cried. They asked me questions I couldn't respond. They were worried because their father, a police officer, strong person in their life, was completely broken. I am a single father, and I have 2 daughters who are my world. Your Honor, this was the weakest and most humbling moment of my life as I held my girls. Cannot stop thinking about the fact that Emmy and Eric would never be able to hold Lily. I was able to hold mine. In the days and months that followed, I began to withdraw from my friends and my family. I'm normally a very outgoing person. Instead, my alcohol increased. I found myself drinking alone, lying on the couch. I've always loved lifting weights, playing basketball, fishing, staying active, but I stopped doing all of those things. Although I know it's hard to believe, I'm not typically emotional. I found myself crying regularly. I struggled to sleep, and then I just drank to go to bed. September 4th, in the middle of the night, I reached out to my parents, and thank you. My mentor, retired Sergeant Todd Belter, for help. I was overwhelmed emotionally, and I was intoxicated. They came to my home immediately, 3 a.m. And that same morning, Sergeant Todd had already arranged an appointment with Dr. Emily Lugents, who specializes in treating the PTSD. And I have been seeing her weekly since then, and I've been diagnosed with the PTSD. I've stopped drinking, which has been a positive thing in my life. For 21 years in law enforcement, this has most likely ended my career. I cannot accept the fact that I have a daughter the same age as Lily. It haunts me every day knowing that Lily will never celebrate another birthday with her family or hug her parents good night. And I get to. So I appreciate you allowing me to give my statement, and that's all I got. So, yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Allard, you may invite the next person.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm Lily's uncle, Emmy's brother. On February 26, 2025, after a long day of stress, tears, unknowns, we had to wake up our then 8-year-old daughter to let her know that her cousin and her best friend on earth had been taken from us. Over the course of the next 4 days, we lived at the hospital, grappling with what and who had torn our world apart, watching our sweet Lily rest so peacefully, but knowing there wasn't waking up in her future. Surrounded by friends and family, cycling through our heads, just the various means to cope, until it was time and Lily was removed from life support and we had to say our last hugs goodbye. It was in that same devastating window of time that we witnessed the first of many moments where the defendant showed absolutely zero accountability or remorse, causing a disturbance at the Mound subway during an argument about the accident that took her life. Lily was supposed to spend that weekend at our house. He and her daughter were supposed to stay up late singing, dancing to Pink, The Wicked or the Descendant soundtracks, making art, doing all the things little girls do while giggling their hearts out and enjoying time with one of each other's favorite people. Being sweet, innocent children, and Lily was the most innocent and sweetest of them. The next 2 weeks were a blur of emotional fatigue, impossibly trying to find anything else to put my mind to focus, or even a second to escape the hell that we were living in. It didn't work. To this day, it rarely ever works. Any fun moment, like coaching my daughter's softball team to a title and watching all the girls celebrate, to spending a long weekend at the lake swimming with the kids, has carried with it some reminder that festers in the back of your mind. We don't get to see Lily and her friends celebrating any big moments. We can't join Lily in one of her favorite activities as swimming at the lake, and it eats at you in everything that you do. And on March 14th, I had to eulogize my only niece, 11-year-old Lily. That's not supposed to be a thing. I'm supposed to give an embarrassing speech at her wedding in 15 years, not writing down all my thoughts about Lily in the past tense. And why? Because someone else's negligence and blatant disregard for any other life than his own. We're 13 months since that funeral, a year of birthdays, a year of holidays, a year of family get-togethers, a year of going to movies, concerts, parks, a year of daily reminders to debilitate your brain, a year of anxiety crippling you in the middle of the night because you're awoken from a thought, a year of pain in the depths of your chest or a turn in your stomach because a memory just hit you out of nowhere, a year of witnessing what this has emotionally done to my daughter, a year of trying to discover a new normal, a year of no Lily. So a year later, we finally have quote-unquote justice. 44 months for shattering so many lives. 44 months isn't justice for a defendant who has shown no remorse. The defendant who in the police reports is bragging to his friends about getting away with killing an 11-year-old, who by all accounts shouldn't have been driving.
Sir, be quiet.
Stop lying on my name.
Mr. Iversen, you will have an opportunity to speak. You are not allowed to speak at this time. Be quiet. Sir, please continue.
By all accounts, should have been driving or had a valid driver's license if the prior offenses were punished properly. I had to listen to a Hennepin County public defender say these run-ins with the law came out of nowhere and aren't in the defendant's nature, that he wasn't a threat to society. That's not the case if you talk to anyone that knows or has known the defendant. These actions are who he's always been, who he was raised as, enabled and bailed out time and time again by grandma and those who are supposed to be raising him to be more than a screw-up, never holding him accountable. The litany of other pending felony charges on public record are testament to that. Never mind, these charges are all from a 10-month span starting abruptly after his 18th birthday. So while 44 months isn't close to enough time, inevitably when the defendant fucks up again and ruins more lives, and that is a when, not an if, because that's who he is and how he was raised, that he will do so as a convicted felon. Forever going forward, I will have Lily with me in my heart, and when I look up at the sky and see the sunset, I can tell my kids that Cousin Lily's painting a picture. I can tell them that is where the rainbows come from. I will strive to live like Lily as best as I can, knowing it's an impossible standard, but something I will try to hold myself to and all those around me. Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, can we approach very briefly? Yes. You may go ahead.
Your Honor, I am Lily's Nana. For months, I thought I knew exactly what I wanted to say. I've rewritten this at least a dozen times. On February 26th at 8:09 a.m., I answered the phone with a cheerful, "What's up, Miss Mimi?" On the other end, a scream that dropped me to my knees. The defense has offered to plead guilty in exchange for 44 months. 44 months. We've been handed a life sentence. There is no plea agreement for us, no reduction for good behavior, no early release from this grief. We wake up to this sentence every single day, and we will carry it with us for the rest of our lives. My granddaughter should be here. She should be growing up, planning her future, arguing about curfews, and celebrating birthdays surrounded by friends and family, not memorialized in photographs. Instead, we mark time by anniversaries of trauma. The defense speaks in months. We measure time in milestones she will never reach. They negotiate numbers. We sit with an empty room and an urn that now rests atop a handcrafted cabinet, a small monument to our forever 11-year-old. 44 months is less than 4 birthdays. We will never celebrate another birthday with her again. This was not an accident. Accidents are unavoidable. This was a series of conscious choices. He chose to be on Snapchat while driving. He chose to speed. He chose to drive erratically. He chose to blow through a 4-way stop. He chose to ignore the safety of every other family on that road. Those were not mistakes. They were decisions, repeated, reckless, indifferent decisions. And the choices did not stop at the collision. Audacity steps in. After killing my granddaughter, he bragged about it. He referred to her as that girl. He bragged about throwing drugs out at the scene. He bragged about getting away with it, all verified by witnesses and crash reconstruction. Remorse is not measured by words spoken after charges are filed. It is revealed in conduct. His conduct tells this court everything. This was not an isolated lapse in judgment. His criminal history reflects multiple felony offenses. He was given chance after chance, bailed out 3 separate times, 3 opportunities to reflect, 3 opportunities to change, 3 opportunities to understand consequences. Instead, the pattern escalated. At some point, repeated leniency stops being mercy and starts becoming enablement. Even in this courtroom, we have witnessed behavior that underscores the lack of gravity surrounding this loss. A family member calling out his name and waving as if this were a spectacle. This is not a carnival. A child is dead. Respect for this court matters. Respect for the life taken matters. Respect for the family left behind matters. When prior felonies did not deter him, when prior releases did not deter him, when even taking a life was followed by bragging, the court must ask, what will? We are told that 44 months is appropriate. Our granddaughter lost 70 or 80 years of life. Her parents lost their daughter for the rest of their lives. Her siblings lost a sister forever. We lost birthdays, graduations, weddings, and grandchildren we will never meet. We don't get to move on in 44 months. We get an empty chair every holiday. We get silence where laughter should be. We get a lifetime of wondering who she would have become. He made reckless choices in minutes that stole an entire lifetime. What choice did our family make that morning? They chose to wake up, to get their kids ready for school. They chose to buckle in and drive lawfully through an intersection. For those ordinary, responsible choices, they were met with devastation. Your Honor, the defense is asking this court to accept 44 months. 44 months for a life taken and for the lifetime of loss that follows. I'm at a loss as to how there has been no genuine remorse. Not at the scene, not afterward, not in words, not in actions. While he continued making choices that protected himself, our family was living a nightmare no parent should ever endure. My daughter and son-in-law did not get to be at their child's side. They were separated, forced to remain with their injured sons at one hospital while Lily was taken to another. They learned their daughter was brain dead over the phone. Over the phone. That's how their world ended. That is the reality of what his choices caused. So when we are asked to consider 44 months, I ask the court to consider that moment and every moment that has followed. He will serve time and eventually walk free. We will live with that phone call for the rest of our lives. He made his choices, and we're living the consequences. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we are Lily's parents. You are a star, and sometimes the brightness of a star takes millions of years to get to Earth. So my point is, if you don't shine the brightest now, your time will come, and it's worth the wait. Those are the words of our daughter, Lilyana Loycano. Lily was that star. She was a sweet, radiant soul who loved deeply everyone, everything, every animal, and every pink song. She wore her heart on her sleeve. She was quirky, full of laughter, always smiling. She loved reading, creating art, and sharing random facts that made us laugh. You could find her doing cartwheels in an oversized t-shirt in our living room window, making snow cones because they were her favorite. Or writing and doodling, sometimes even on her walls, because her life was a blank canvas and she was always creating. Lily lit up every room she entered. She had big dreams, beautiful, limitless dreams. She wanted to be a teacher, a gymnastics coach, a marine biologist, and an orthopedic surgeon. And in 11 short years, she brought more goodness into this world than many do in a lifetime. She turned 11 just 2 weeks before the defendant took her life. She was a child on her way to school, a place she loved that loved her back. And in a single moment, because of choices the defendant made, everything was taken. He didn't just take Lily's life. He took her future. He took her first boyfriend, her first dance, her first kiss. He took her chance to drive, to graduate, to chase her dreams. He took her wedding day. Her father will never walk her down the aisle, and I will never get to see my daughter become a mother. He took all of that and so much more from her and from us. He also took Lily from her 3 brothers, who love and miss her beyond words. They will never watch their sister grow up. Her older brothers will never get to protect her the way they were meant to. Her younger brother only had 4 years with her and now must hold on to memories through pictures and stories. And on top of that, they are forced to carry trauma no child should ever have to understand. One of our sons is now afraid to drive. He doesn't trust the world around him. He fears that his life could end in an instant because of someone else's reckless decision. Our youngest struggles with anger and confusion. He doesn't understand why his sister is gone. He lives with separation anxiety, afraid that if we leave, we won't come back. He tells us, don't crash. Not only do they all struggle with the mental and emotional trauma of this, they struggle with the physical trauma as well, with scars on their faces that will never go away. Scars they not only have to feel every day, but see. Just another daily reminder of what the defendant did to us. As adults, we struggle to understand this loss. How are children supposed to? As for me, I live with PTSD. Every time I get into a car, I feel overwhelming anxiety. I cannot trust other drivers. And when our sons leave the house, I pray constantly for their safety, for their return, and that fear never leaves me. And when we pass through that every intersection every single day, I relive it all. The sights, the sounds, it consumes me. I see our children confused, unconscious, one even in the trunk. I see our daughter in the back seat, unresponsive. I see her on the pavement. I hear her last words, "Watch out," just a mere millisecond before he hit us. Those were the last words I will ever hear from my child. The sounds, the chaos, the shattered pieces, the helplessness, it replays over and over in my mind. And through all of this, I cannot help but feel that the defendant does not grasp the weight of what he has done. People say he is young. He is only 19, but Lily was only 11. 11. He made a choice. He chose to be on his phone. He chose to speed. He chose to ignore traffic laws. And those choices killed our daughter. How many chances does he get when Lily doesn't get any more? To the defendant's family, I would never wish this pain on you, but if you ever experienced a loss like this, you would understand what justice truly means, not just for the one taken, but for everyone left behind. The defendant had an opportunity to show remorse. He didn't take it. He sat there. He sat there while our children were rushed into ambulances. He sat there while our daughter lay on the ground. He sat there while first responders fought to bring her back. He just sat there. And for that, I will never forgive him. Minnesota may be called a no-fault state, but make no mistake, this is his fault. It is his fault that we are here today. It is his fault that our daughter is gone. It is his fault that our family will never be whole again. And it is his fault that he is now facing the consequences of his actions. To everyone here, those who knew Lily, and those who are here to support us, I ask something of you. Live like Lily. Be kind. Be giving. Love big. Wear your heart on your sleeve. Make friends everywhere. Be adventurous. Climb mountains. Dance and sing like no one is watching. Be colorful. Paint the rainbow. Celebrate the small things, and most importantly, shine bright. We deserve safer streets. Families deserve protection, not excuses. It's time to speak her name. Lilyana Loycano, say her name. Remember her, honor her, shine bright, baby girl. It's your time. Thank you.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, we'll display the video at this time.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, if I may.
Go ahead.
Obviously, I did not know Lily, never met her, but through the impact statements, our work with the family, and the community impact statements you saw, I believe that we all have caught a glimpse into what an amazing little girl she was. It's been an honor for Mr. Samaha and myself to work with this family. They are truly an amazing family. It was a very difficult conversation to have to tell them that the presumptive sentence in this case is only 48 months. 48 months does not capture what happened here, and our laws in this state on criminal vehicular homicide are weak. That's a horrible thing for us to have to talk to a family on in a case like this. But that's the reality of where we're at. And the defendant has accepted responsibility, at least by pleading guilty and accepting 44 months. The state is dismissing the other charges in recognition of that plea negotiation and due to complications on those cases. The defendant does have credit for 409 days. We are asking for a restitution order in the amount of $56,242. We will provide discovery and information to the defense on that as soon as possible, as well as proposed orders to the court later today. The defendant does have to submit a DNA sample, cannot possess, never mind, he just has to submit a DNA sample. And with that, Your Honor, we are prepared to go forward with sentencing.
Ms. Baldwin, any additional comment or argument at this time?
Just briefly, Your Honor, I don't want to minimize the impact of some of the information that's been presented to the court today, but I do want to express to the court some of my experiences working with Mr. Iversen. Mr. Iversen, I recognize that sometimes in the middle of chaos, people don't react in the way that they are able to upon reflection, but I've had the opportunity to work quite closely with Mr. Iversen, and I've watched him reflect on this. Part of our investigation was to determine kind of how this came to be, what caused this. In the course of doing that, we underwent a psychological evaluation that did demonstrate that he has some nascent mental health issues that contributed to this series of events that happened over a course of about a year. During the time that he was in late adolescence, early adulthood, which is a time when mental health concerns do emerge. This court is aware of that fact and that kind of scientific reality. In the course of one of the reasons why we undertook that was to consider mitigation. But in the middle of that, as we were receiving this information, Connor said to me, "I want to take responsibility. I want to say what happened. I want to close this case so the family can move forward, and so that we're not." Because I think that this is a just sentence, I think it's appropriate for me to have to serve time on this case, given the level of impact I've had, not only on this family, on this child, but on the community around him. He's recognized that. He's expressed significant remorse. He accepts responsibility for his actions. I do, as a person who works in the justice system, whenever a person is serving a sentence at a young age, I feel tremendous guilt about that personally, because I would like to be able to shelter Connor more. But he has asked to accept this responsibility and asked to be able to bring closure to this family and to these court proceedings. He has addressed to me, and we've talked about the fact that he will ultimately be released from custody, and he's going to have an obligation to be the best person that he can be in order to make amends for this action, in order to make amends for this case. And he's been able to articulate that to me and talk to me about his plans to move forward in a positive way in this community. This was an accident. It was a tragedy. But it was an accident. We are asking for the court to go along with the agreed upon negotiation, which is a guideline sentence. That is what the legislature has presumed is appropriate under the circumstances. We're asking for the court to impose the 44 months of imprisonment with credit for the 409 days that he has served. I understand the restitution amount. I appreciate the prosecution letting me know about that in advance of this hearing today. We would be addressing any further motions regarding that in the future.
Mr. Iversen, you have the right to address the court. Is there anything that you would like to say at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to say to those whom my negligence affected, I apologize and offer my deepest condolences to the family. I'm sorry for this unfortunate accident that should have never happened. I know that words can't do any justice. However, I want the family to know that right after the accident, I prayed to Jesus that everyone would be okay. I was told by officers on scene that everyone would be okay. I was also told that everyone was going to be okay the day of. And so it hurt my soul when I was informed 2 days later by the news that something like this had happened. I took this prison sentence to prevent any more pain on the family, or any more court dates or a trial that would have caused any more pain, as well as owning up to what happened. I would also like to say that that I don't have any kids, so I don't understand you guys' pain, but you know, I have a sister, so I can understand what it's like. And I'm sorry. God bless you guys. That's all I have to say.
I would like the family and friends to know that I did read all of the community impact statements and victim impact statements that were submitted to the court. It was very clear to me that Lily was a very special young lady, that she was very loved by her family, her friends, her classmates, her teachers, and everyone in the community. And she made a positive impact on everyone in her orbit. And I thank you to everyone who provided your impact statements and shared stories and memories of Lily. Mr. Iversen, it is my hope that you will make your time in the custody of the Department of Corrections in a productive manner, and that you will figure out how you can be a positive presence in the community when you are released from custody, and you can make a positive impact in the community. I hope you do understand the gravity of your actions and the impact that your actions had on the community, on Lily's family. Mr. Iversen, now having pled guilty to the sole count of criminal vehicular or homicide, and now standing convicted of that crime, you're hereby committed to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for 44 months. This is a guideline sentence under the Minnesota Sentencing Guidelines. At least 2/3 of the sentence will be served in prison. The remainder of that time will be served on supervised release. And the Commissioner of Corrections may extend your time in prison up to the entire sentence of 44 months if you commit any disciplinary offenses or supervised release violations. Again, Mr. Iversen, this sentence does follow the terms of your plea agreement and is a guideline sentence under the Minnesota Sentencing Guidelines. You will receive custody credit for 409 days that you've already spent in custody. I'm ordering that you pay restitution in the amount of $56,242.83. I will issue an order after the proposed order is submitted and the documentation has been provided to the court. The mandatory minimum fee of $50 is imposed, as well as the surcharge of $78. And a victim services assessment of $50 is also imposed. If you've not done so already, you must provide a DNA sample. And you are prohibited from possessing, using, transporting firearms, ammunition, or explosives. Pursuant to the plea agreement, Court Files 27 CR 25 5205, 27 CR 25 9209, and 27 CR 24 28975 are all dismissed. And any bond that you previously posted will be discharged at this time. From probation, anything additional? From the state, anything additional?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Baldwin, anything additional?
No, thank you.
Mr. Iversen, do you have any questions about what I've ordered?
No, ma'am.
That concludes this hearing.